Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. As part of our customer success initiative, today is the sixth in a series of webinars that we aim to deliver on a monthly basis between product training, product updates, and tips and tricks to help maximize your use of the platform. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation or have some feedback, please type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel. We'll answer as many as we can at the end, and if we can't get to all the questions, we'll answer them separately by email after the webinar. All are welcome. My name is Chris Dunphy. I'm a customer success manager here in Aphix. I've been with the company for the last 6 years. I previously led the support team here in Aphix and now work in our newly set up customer success department. For those of you who've joined in our last few sessions, we've demoed our new management interface and visual page builder. We've also delivered a practical set of CMS training that was aimed at tips and tricks to get the most out of blocks and visual page builder, as well as April's webinar, which was delivered by Neno and Lindsay, targeting the use of managing multiple catalogs at once for web shop, sales rep, and pocket shop. Last month's session was centered around the best practices to onboard customers to the web shop. And today's session is about helping our clients prep content in advance of sale events, such as Black Friday or other seasonal events. We'll also look at web discounts, such as like Was Now pricing, amongst other areas. In today's session, we will be looking at Was Now price scenarios. The little asterisk really signifies this in a standard context. The reason why I'm just highlighting that is that there are some scenarios where there could be customized elements of how this approach works based off of how the ERP is set up in the first place. But by and large, we'll be able to demonstrate how this works in a standard way. We'll also be looking at using web discounts, such as coupons, by product list or specifically targeting customers, managing multi-buys, creating landing pages in advance for sale purposes with countdown timers, which we did brush on before, but we've had lots of interest in maybe expanding on that somewhat since the last time we looked at this on our a webinar 2 webinars ago, and using category management for special offers. So yeah, like I briefly talked about there, will be the benefits or takeaways to this from this session will be you'll be able to understand, at least from a standard approach, how Was Now pricing works, broadly how managing coupons works per customer or by product, upselling using multi-buys, creating rich CMS pages in advance that target sales around particular subject nature, and using that category management or search management to keep offers organized. Now, I'm just going to start sharing my screen and we'll run through these practical scenarios. Okay, just give me one moment and I'll start sharing my screen. Now, so essentially, using was now pricing, this can be differentiated into showing or nominating a particular price that we source from your ERP, regardless of what ERP it may be in. There may be different scenarios of how this is sourced. So typically in a B2B environment, we pull in the live pricing for the customer account code. So their specific price that is sourced in your ERP, whether it's an ERP that's based off of a price list or a selling band or anything like that, we pull that in real time. From a retail perspective, we import your catalog, in kind of intervals, whether it's once a day, based off of selling bands or price lists or a particular price attributed to maybe a customer account code. and we set those prices on our platform and then allow retail customers to view them. So we also have the functionality to allow you to nominate an additional field to be used as as an alternate price. So for example, if we take a look at the deep cut hole saw that we have here. So in this case here, I'm currently set here as a guest customer. I'm not logged in as a B2B customer. So what we have is an integration into an ERP, and we've nominated selling one, which we import already, as your retail price. So everything on this page, when you're signed in as a retail customer or you're browsing as a guest, is set as the price that we import from selling one. If this was an alternate ERP, it wouldn't be called selling one. It would be a different price list based in the ERP. Now, the was price is what's nominated from a different field. So as the actual retail price is on selling one, selling two is nominated as the was price. All you have to do is on your ERP system, whether it's set on a different selling band, is to set a higher price, or if it was on an ERP where selling bands aren't applicable and it was a UDF on a product, we would again know what that UDF is. Our support team would be able to take that UDF field and we map it so that that becomes the was price. All you need to make sure is that that was price is higher than the actual selling price, and we'll automatically display the graphic like this. So on my side here, I'm going to just change that price so you can see it changing as I move along. So 1 second. So I am doing a small bit of manipulation on my side here just to change the price on our database to reflect this. So I am changing the was price now to say 501 euros, which is still higher than 500. So as you can see here, the was price is still a was price, so it's giving the perception that it's on sale. Now, if I change the was price to either be 500 or less, so if it's the same or less, then the was disappears. So this gives the functionality that on your ERP, which is always the source of data, you know, that's where the pricing is stored. That's where all that information is stored. So on your catalog that you would use in your ERP system on a daily basis, if once you have either configured this with our support team, or if this is in place through your initial implementation to your web shop being set live, once you know which either selling band or price list or UDF field is the was field, once you know which one in play is set as that, once those prices are changed on the ERP system, the next time from a retail perspective, when that import runs out of your ERP, that was price will change and reflect. So it's a good thing to have that maybe set in play during or upcoming toward any sale event. In the case of a B2B scenario, it's much the same. You still nominate you still nominate a selling band or a price list field or a UDF field. The difference being that as your B2B customer logs in and sees their price, you know, they would be able to see their live price, which would be the price that gets added to the cart, but they would also see the was price that's also nominated in the same fashion. So if I change this back here now, I'll change that to €800. And there we are. You can see that price gets added to the cart. There we go. If that is something that is not working out of the box for you, please contact our support team or your customer success representative, and they'll give you more information as to how that gets configured on the platform. Now, next up is using web discounts by product list or customer. In this example, we'll demonstrate by applying web discounts to products broadly or per product category or per customer, so that you can control discounts for your customers in the sense that your B2B customers receive, one would say, a better price than a retail customer. Traditionally, that's one of the benefits of being a B2B customer or a trade customer, that you get trade pricing. So this can be applicable to those types of customers. But broadly, if you are working in a retail environment or for your retail customers where they get one price, but periodically, if there's promotional aspects that you want to give towards them, using web discounts can be very, very a good way of increasing sales. So if we take something like a broad coupon. So first of all, we'll just jump into the back end here. So if I go into discounts and then coupons, I'm just going to use one that I used already. I'm just going to use one called B2C. Click the edit button there. So I've called the coupon B2C. I've given it a value of 10, that's 10%. You can set whether something has a minimum cart value as well. So, again, depending on, what your rules might be for your sale, you can give a broad coupon of 10% off on some or all products or to some or all customers. Or in this case, you can say any of that above, but you also need to spend a minimum of €100 or £100. So that's in your control. You can base that off of the net total or the gross total as well. So, it's €100 plus VAT or €100 excluding VAT. You can dictate what that might be on. You can decide if it's a discount applicable to shipping. Perhaps you want to give just broadly free shipping to your customers. The percentage is probably the most widely used one because that is a true coupon. There is an option for a voucher. I'm not going to cover the voucher aspect now, because while it is included in the discount section, a voucher is a voucher. A voucher is not a discount. A voucher is cash, and a voucher will show up in a different manner than it will on your ERP system in terms of a discount. And the reason is, if you sell a voucher either through your POS system internally, through your ERP, or you happen to sell vouchers on the web shop as products, that's fine. You would then need to issue a voucher to your customer to the value of what that voucher is. If it's for €100, and if that voucher is used to the value of €50, they will still have €50 left on that voucher. Yeah, but it doesn't get passed in as a discount because it's something that's already it's not redeemable in the same way that a coupon is used. A coupon is a percentage discount, and that takes the discount off the price of the product at that point in time. You can limit a coupon to have a certain number of uses as well, broadly. So presumably, you could have a coupon set that the first 50 people to use the coupon can use it. Or if you just want it to be used indefinitely, just stick a big old number in there and just let the coupon get used as many times as you want. You can limit the number of uses that the coupon is used per email. So again, for B2B or B2C, when somebody is creating an order, if it's B2B, then they would have to log in with that email address. If it's B2C, if it's a guest user, they have to enter on the delivery section of an order, they have to specify their email address. If they're a registered B2C customer, they're logging in with their email address. So you can say, here's a coupon, but you can only use this coupon once. So again, but that's up to you. If you leave it at 0, it means you can use the coupon as many times as you want. Now, this here, if you on the product list, this is probably the most important thing. So if I say none, this means right now, anyone who uses the B2C coupon code will get 10% off any product. And that has no differentiation on products, customers. That's just anyone can use this. If we had it set to auto apply, it would also mean that coupon would be just straight away applied in the cart for anything. So if I set that to yes, for example, it's live, hit save, it's not tied to a list. I go back here into the web shop, jump into my cart. You can see there 10% is automatically getting taken off there. So it doesn't matter what I put in there, that discount will be taken off. If I change that to to that there, hit save, go back, refresh my page, coupon's gone because it's using it on a different list. Now, if I just change this list to be this one here, it's called B2C only test. It's a list that I already created. And I'm going to remove the option that auto applies. So just keeping that page there open, I'm going to jump over to my product lists. So product lists are, not to go off track, but product lists are used for two things really. It's to create a list of products for customers, either to specifically say that a customer or customers can view a certain group of products that others can't, but also it's a way to specify coupons to be applicable or applied to specific customers as well. I think that list was called B2C only test. Yep, so this is the list that I would have chosen. So all of these lists would have been able to have been selected per coupon. So if I open this list, and we can see that the list type is a coupon list. So I'm saying for only these products, I haven't specified a category. I could, if we wanted to broadly say for all of gaming or all of Nintendo or all of PlayStation or all of Microsoft or Dell or whatever the case might be, all of Dell, then we're saying these coupons could be applied. Sure, I'll add it in there. So it's still showing the products. We also have a category, but we're saying these customers. Just one thing to note, a product list is based off of the customer account code. I know it does show the email address here, but just pay no heed or attention to it. It is based off of the account code. And it's important to note because if you were doing this to include B2B customers, typically an account code is unique. for B2B customers. They may have many web logins attached to it or email addresses. So, you know, an organization can be one company account code, but there could be 1 or 5 or 10 or 20 email addresses linked to that account code to be able to log in and place orders against that account code. But a retail account code, it just so happens that the retail account codes, there's 2 here actually set up on this web shop. There's 2 for B002 and C99998. So B002 is the retail account code. So any guest customer or any registered retail customer will be able to use this coupon because it's tied to this list. It just so happens from your perspective, if I typed in B002 again, it just happens to be the first email address that's associated to that account code. It doesn't make a bit of difference. If you chose something else, it's not going to make a difference. It's just looking at the very first one. So just pay no attention. That's why it's not even letting me add it to the list, because it sees that B002 is already there. So yeah, so if I go back to, I'm just going to take note of those products. So we can see so that product code there, that is actually on the list. So I'm also going to add in this Samsung Galaxy. Actually, what I will, you know, I'll add in something that's not on the list. It's probably the best thing. So I'm going to do it something from Dell and something that's not on the list. So add that to the cart, that to the cart, that to the cart, that to the cart. And then under computing, Dell. €16 for a gaming machine. That's pretty good. Now, so there's no discounts there at the moment. And the B2C account code or the B2C voucher code was B2C. So we can see there the deep cut hole saw has applied the coupon there, and for the Gigaset phones, they're not on the list, so that's not applying the discount into that, but it is for that first product there. So again, that's a good way of making sure that that's being tied in. If that coupon was changed to be shipping, let's just give it 100% value. So we can see now that it's called €8 shipping off because the shipping value was €8. And the discounts themselves are just the same as normal, but it's just taken the price of shipping off. So I suppose to keep in tandem with like the preparation here, build a product list well in advance. Call it Black Friday or summer sale or winter sale or Christmas sale or New Year sale or whatever the case might be. Build the list in advance, put the products in place, put the customers in place, specify your percentages, specify it on a I would recommend on a per product basis. I think it's just easier to manage. You can do this using spreadsheet uploads. So in this product list here, for example, under products, you can download your product list and then you can re-upload the list. So while you can add things one at a time, it's far easier to just throw up a spreadsheet with all of your product codes and then they just go onto that list. Keep that in place for, you know, until such a time that it makes sense. And then when you're placing the sales order into the ERP system, the discounts will get passed in on the order as well. Now, managing multi-buys. I'm just going to turn off that coupon. And just to mention, it's you can use one coupon at a time. You can't use multiple coupons at the same time. Just bear that in mind. So there are 3 types of multi-buy options. One is a manual selection. This is all documented on our Aphix assist page, assist.aphix.software. You can find that by the speech bubble up here. If you click on Aphix assist, that will bring you to that page. If you go to, so there's 3 types of offers. If I click on new, there's my new one there. If I click on edit, so I have 3 types of options. One is a manual selection, a cheapest free, and a trigger quantity. So the manual selection is probably the most classic variation of this, where you create a list of products for which the offer applies. You manually select the quantity of each product that needs to be purchased and specify which product is free. So in the case of, say, let's try this one here. So if I go take this gigaset, so that's added to the offer. If you think about like even retailers who like using phones as the example, you know, like a lot of the phones you would have used to have bought in somewhere like an Argos or something like that. The Irish phone connections are always different to the UK connections, so but they're supplemented in. They on their own internal systems they would have had the UK to Irish adapter just included with the phone. So every time you bought the phone, it just automatically gave the option to include one of those additional converters for free. That's kind of how this sort of works here. So what I've done here is I have 2 phones, but let's say if I add 3 of these and specify that this is the free item, save that offer. So just going to remove some products here. So straight away, I suppose it's telling me, just going to remove that coupon because it's not applicable anymore. So this is telling me, so if I've happened to have added this one product to the cart, oh, sorry, I've added that one product to the cart and it's telling me that there is an offer available on that product. So it forewarns the end user, offers available in your cart. That's a translation, by the way. You can change this in the translation section in the management interface. It shows up the name that you've given it. Buy 3 of this and get 1 of this for free. So now I'll just remove that product as well. So if I update the quantity of this to 3, there you go. So it includes the 3 products plus the the product that's free here as well is included and is zeroed off. The cheapest free option so is the next one. So I'll just expand on that again. So there's, let's say we change this to cheapest free. This is where you just put in 3 products, or well, as many products as you want, really. Let's just jump back into the phones for a moment. Use this, keep using this example. So we had Berm 50, Burrs 30 ms, and Cable 1. Okay, and they're all different prices, so that's great. Cable 1. So now if I add one of these to the cart, offers available in your cart. Again, you have to name it. So they're saying buy this and this and this and get the cheapest free. So it links off to the products. So I'm going to add that to my cart. Add this to my cart. Update my page. And there we go. So we can see that the 55, 57 euro phones are at full price, and the cheapest one, which is the Burrs 30 ms, is free. The trigger quantity is the last one. Touch base on this. For this one, you create a list of products for which the offer applies. So you specify the number of products that need to be purchased and the number of products that are free if that product is in the cart. So we're saying, we'll just remove those. We'll just keep it simple. So we're saying the Berm 50, buy 5, get 3 free. It's not that dissimilar from the first one, really, but it's an easier way of maybe doing it to configure it broadly. So we're saying for this product, Berm 50, we'll just remove these other 2 ones. And it says the offer again, buy 5 of these and get 2 free. So add 5. And there we go. So there's the one that I had beforehand, and here's the 5 I'm paying for, and here's the 2 that are free. So again, used in conjunction with the other discounts, this is just another layer to be able to really get the most out of creating these sort of multi-buys in the future, so that they go on for a period of time, so you can plan it out. You can specify the end date as well. So again, if this is Black Friday, start Black Friday, you know, like from the date it kicks off at like, you know, midnight. So if you're choosing a date, it starts off at midnight, and then if you choose the end date, again, it ends at the following time of midnight when the next day starts. So you can really plan this in advance. The next thing we're going to look at is actually the visualization of this. So we did, like I said before, we did look at creating landing pages for this in a past webinar, but we didn't delve too deep into it. We'll rehash on what we did cover, but also we'll just layer on how we can create those sort of pages to house offers and content really well with good aesthetics, and to kind of have key products pop for like product sliders, or to show sale tags you know, I suppose all this feeds into, you know, utilizing or having in place and understanding how the ERP controls of WAS now operates as well, so that this looks really, really simple, tidy, and that it's planned well in advance. So if I'm going to go into my pages section, and I'm going to go down to a page that I've prepped already called Sales and Black Friday. And I built this page with Visual Page Builder. So we're going to layer on top of this. So just to kind of recap on how this works, I'm going to open Visual Page Builder. 1 second. Now, so without kind of recapping exactly how Visual Page Builder works in its entirety, because I think there's a full webinar on that from before, but you know, traditionally, if you were getting something like this set up, it would be have a promo banner or banners in place. The idea of the countdown timer seemed to be quite appealing for customers. You can do this in lots of different ways. The way that we showed you the last time is to use something like timeanddate.com, where you can add in an iframe to a banner, and that iframe will overlay on top of a banner onto your web shop. If there's other places where you can get something that has nicer text, or something where the clock is visually just nicer looking on the eye, it's the same process. But essentially, if I was taking this as an example, first of all, if I open up the page, so the first page that I put in place is the first part I put up in it is a full width page. And that's what sets up the entire actual CMS content page in and of itself. From there, you take a full width section, put that across, which we can see here. That's the full width section there. I've chosen the background banner to be, or background color to be black, just to kind of in keeping with Black Friday. You can change the toggles there to, oh, sorry, it's just doing that because I have a that's the iframe, and that's kind of shown there. I'll be able to show that there to you in a moment. I'll just refresh the page. So when this loads up here, so while this is loading up, you would already set your banners in place. So under banner management in banners, you preset all your banners for your web shop that you can choose. So there's like the normal homepage ones, your category ones, and then here's the Black Friday one that I've set up already. Within that, you give it a banner set name and add in your image. So there's just a preview of that image that I found. And then in terms of like what you want to display overlaid on that banner, you know, you could have just added in text, you know, and style it how you want using the user interface here on the WYSIWYG editor. But in terms of like creating that iframe in source, this is where you put the iframe. in terms of configuring that clock, this is just the one that we used ourselves just to play around with. You chop and change the settings here on the timer, and you can see on the far right hand corner how this is going to look. So, you know, you choose your style and you choose how the clock is going to look, and you change how that's going to look, and then at the very end, you go show HTML for countdown timer, and that's the iframe that I'm speaking of, that you copy and that you place in the source tab of the banner. I chopped and changed how this looked myself for our own page builder, so that here, for example, this is a black background, the banner is black, so I made sure that the text is white. So on this particular page, you know, for example, I made sure to choose the text is white. As you can see here, the little preview in the right hand corner, you can't really see it then because it's white on white in terms of the preview, but when you actually go to use it, it will be white on a black background. That's just an example of how that kind of works. So once you're happy that, you know, the clock, if you want to add it in a clock, is working how it's supposed to work, and that the countdown is correct, and that it's, you know, leading up to the correct date, when you are back in Visual Page Builder mode, so I chose my full width. I already chose my slider hero, so I would have taken a banner slider and I would have dragged that across. I'm not going to do that now because it already exists. But once you select it now, this is where I would have chose my banner, and I already have Black Friday chosen, so I'm not going to choose it again. You choose the transition style, you choose the, you know, to amend pagination, all that sort of stuff that you would imagine you want to be shown off to different customers. You can here, give it a name. I would just this is something I've noticed with a lot of customers. When you used to create blocks and content in the back end office here in Pages, people generally tended to give the names of content like very specific names, which is good practice for when you're looking this up again down the future. But by default, here there's no prompt to name a section at all. Maybe there should be, but we'll probably look at that. It just generates like a random name, generated slider banner hero. It's not really, it doesn't really tell you much when you actually go to look for it again. So I would get into the habit of actually giving the content you're creating in the pages an actual name. So in this case, let's call it Black Friday page or Black Friday page hero, something like that, something that differentiates it. You can dictate whether the page is hidden for the moment or maybe just the banner. So you create it, but then you hide it. So you could layer this on, you could put all this content on a page by itself, link it up in the nav bar, hide the link, or on your own homepage, create the content and hide it. And then when you're in the mode of it's countdown time, hide your normal hero banner and display this banner or any other blocks that I'm going to show you now as well. So again, it's just prepping that sort of stuff in place, and of course you can use the toggles to hide it, hide this so that maybe there's different Black Friday offers just to B2B customers and not for B2C customers, or vice versa. On top of layering on top of that, if you're looking at, specifying products, if I move to put in a full width column here, sorry, I'll just put in a bit of padding there. There we go. So if I wanted to add in, sorry, 1 second. Sometimes it's just awkward to get the, there we go. So if I wanted to add in something else like product sliders, things like that, you know, from there, again, it's been rehashing the things you would have done on your homepage, but making sure that you're planning the products that you want for the future. So again, call it the Black Friday sale carousel. And that you're either choosing specific products or you're just selecting the featured products that you might have. If you have featured products, that is. You want maybe 5 products. Not sure we have 5 products. I'm choosing the amount of columns that'll be on display. So I'm just going with 6 columns. So all the featured products that I have, I've chosen featured. So if you specifically just tag the products that you have to be used in the future for such a sale as featured, which you can do either using spreadsheet management or in the management interface in the edit section. All products can be set to be set as featured. So when you eventually do start to want to use them as featured products, they can just be pre-chosen and then they're ready, they're in place, they're in a black background, and those would be the products. You know, you can start to see this if you're having was now pricing in place. If you maybe want to add a further discount on some products using coupons or upsell with multi-buys, it's really just increasing this whole scenario of like you're in sale mode. Again, making sure that if you don't want to show this to the public just yet, set it to be hidden. Oh, sorry, that's it. Yeah, there you go. So then it just goes away. So yeah, that's, you know, that's kind of, that's the gist of it really in a nutshell. It's about prepping this so that you can have this content readily available going forward. So I'm just gonna unhide that, click out of here and refresh the page. And until you clear your cache, it's not live. There we go. And of course, within Visual Page Builder, there's options on making this, you know, look and behave differently on mobile devices or tablets as well. The next part of this is using category management for special offers. So it's good practice to not move products from category to category, but rather to add it in to more than one category and applying, if you want to apply filters if necessary, that's fine. So we're going to very quickly demonstrate how you can move a product within multiple categories, but also, when I say multiple categories, keeping it in its actual category, but putting it into a category of special or something like that. So if we take the categories that we have here, we have, don't think, yeah, we don't have a category called specials or special offers or anything like that. So let's create it. So if I click into, oh, excuse me. Let's say, for example, I want to, first of all, get all the products that are maybe on sale. So I click into catalog, or not sale, that have a special tag. The special tag is that toggle in the management interface where you can specify a small little tag that says special offer. So in this case here, I'm going to filter my products by special, yes. Select them all and export. So I'm just going to tidy this spreadsheet down slightly because all I really need is the categories. So I'm just going to remove all the columns except the category tree. So we can see that there are some category products that are in multiple categories. For example, these are probably filters, but for example, let's say that we want to put some of these products in multiple categories. Let's just make it slightly easy on ourselves, just for the purposes of this, because we only have a few minutes to run through this. So I'm going to remove the products that are currently in more than one category. I'm just going to take a chunk of these out. Now I'm going to create a category called special offers. This could either be done through the management interface by clicking on categories, new category, and click on new. Yeah, there we go. So clicking on new category and creating the category from within there. And that's fine. You can still do it that way. Or what you could do is just create it from here. Just make sure that when you're doing this, you're consistently using the same category name, because you could end up doing special or specials, and then in doing so, that will create more categories, and it'll just be a bit of a mess because you'll have some products in special and some products in specials, and then it just gets messy. So let's put it in special offers. Notice that all I need to do is make sure that it's in the category tree of computing, laptops, HP. Then the next line, it's blank from here, and it just has, under the same column of category tree, it just has the next category. And then it goes on to the next line, which is the next product. So I'm going to save that and go import and export. choose my spreadsheet. Update my catalog. 6 products updated, 1 category, new category is created. Because all those products are visible, I click in products now, I can see, should see special offers. Need to clear my cache. While that cache is cleared, if I was to look at one of those products as well, to do this on a manual basis, I could go into, let's take 0103, or indeed any product. If I want to add a product into that category now, let's say go into catalog, just going to choose a random one, the Xbox. I click into product settings, product and category editor, either on the list view or in the tree view. I like the tree view. I think it's really nice and handy to use. Just takes a sec because if there's a lot of categories in on view. There we go. So if I look at, if I go down, I can see all the little kind of check boxes where product is already in. So that's in gaming. But if I scroll on down, I can see there's special offers. So now hit save, and it's in special offers as well. There we go. There's special offers. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to propagate into this drop-down list. I click on special offers as a category. There's all the products that I've just added. Now, one little addition to this, if you did want to create a link in your navigation bar specific to called special offers, do so by creating the link under pages. I know we're going slightly over time, apologies, but I think this will be of good benefit. If you click on new link, and then in that new link, call it give it a page name, the page name, and then the menu title. Set it to show on menu. The page name will show up in the navigation bar up here, depending on where you want to place it, and then specify that in that link the page that's going to point to, whether it's this special offers category, or if you didn't want to have a specific special offers category, what you can do is this. If you use this link here, so imagine your domain, this is like your web shop domain link, and if you put in this link here, categories.html case equals specials. So what so I could, rather than just hit the return button here, let's just actually set up this page very quickly. Call it specials. Show on menu. Status is published. Sometimes when you create a new link, it can just take a minute or two for the cache to resolve to show on the page. There we go. So it's pointing to the URL specials because we've said that that's what you wanted to be picked up as on like from an SEO perspective. But what it's actually doing is it's just showing it goes through every product that happens to have that special offers tag set on all your products. So if you just set everything as on special, or the products that you want to have that special offers, in this case we have it translated to show sale, it will show all of those products in a very quick way to show off what those sale products are without having to go through the categorization element that I just showed you. And then it has a breakdown of each category on the left hand side, or the filters that might be applied for the products that are within those categories. So maybe it's a time saver, maybe not. The only thing is, because it's not like a category per se, you don't get the options of like adding in an image on the top of the category or an intro into the category. You know, it is just a very quick fire way of showing products that have that sale tag on. Yeah, and then I think just the last thing I wanted to mention was for last month in our release notes, we updated a feature, our related products feature. Prior to this, on related products, both grouped and linear, you were able to add products into a group relationship or a linear relationship. But the unfortunate side was you had to keep track of this manually over time. So you weren't able to export out all of your related products, which made it awkward for maintaining them on a basis going forward, or to change them. You would have had to have gone into every product individually and exported out the group relationship or the linear relationship and then changed it to re-upload it, which was quite time consuming. So we heard your frustration, and we updated this. So now on products and import and export, click on the related product section, and then on export, you can now download your full grouped export or your full linear export, meaning that you'd have a spreadsheet now of every group relationship or every linear relationship that you have, so you can edit them here and now and then import them back up in one swoop, meaning that it's such a time saver. And you can really target, again, for the likes of those, you know, Black Friday or sale scenarios, again, you know, who's to say that you couldn't have this done en masse for products in advance for those products that you have targeted that are on sale, again, to upsell. If it's like the PlayStation with the games people also bought, you know, doing that well in advance and prepping for that. Okay, just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions into the question box in the GoToWebinar control panel. One moment. Now let me see if I can get some of these here. Let me see. This one is this is from Michael. We have RRP displayed. Can we change it to was, or does this have to be done by support? Great question, Michael. And I think I know your setup actually. It would need to be changed by support, as far as I know, for yourself. Quickly check that. I think you probably fall into the category of somebody who it's not done in a traditional stance of what I just referred to there a moment ago, in the sense of the out of the box solution. I think it's mainly because it's ERP driven. I think that's actually something for you that's controlled in the management interface as opposed to the ERP. If I'm correct, happy to get the guys in the support team or myself if you send me an email directly after this, we can follow this up. But as far as I know, for yourself, this is at the moment it would be the non-traditional or non-standardized approach. But happy to follow it up with you afterwards. And let me see. From Philip, is there an option available to import a list of products and customers from a spreadsheet or CSV into coupon or multi-buy profiles? On multi-buy, no. For multi-buy, it's not customer specific. For multi-buys, it's just it's broad. If the multi-buy is there, the multi-buy is there. So you would have to create those multi-buys manually if you're going to set it up in that manner. For coupons, I don't think it's done on mass with a spreadsheet. Let me just quickly check that. No. So to create the coupons, again, the coupons need to be created manually one at a time. In terms of the customers to apply to a coupon, absolutely. So in terms of the product list, if you create the coupon manually, if you have 1,000 customers in your ERP and you want to make sure that this coupon is applied to to a group of customers, what you would do is name the product list appropriately, and then in the customers, and then you have to choose the list type. So the list would be a default list type. Well, if it's, I suppose if it's for a coupon, if it's for a coupon, it would be a coupon list, and then you would upload a spreadsheet, download the sample spreadsheet that's in the when you're on the customers tab in the product list section, and then upload just your customer codes, and then your customer codes will apply to that list. And let me see. This is from Maureen. How do we activate multi-buys offer option? If multi-buys or coupons are not turned on currently, if you email the support team at support@aphixoffer.com, there should be no problem in enabling those features for you. If they're not already available for you to enable yourself in the settings section of the management interface, if they're not there, feel free to email our support team and we'll be happy to enable multi-buys and coupons for you. It's a great question by Laura. Does having a category selected in a product list for a coupon override the items? Does it have to be one or the other? It's a great question. No, I just find that while categories is available and it might seem like an easy broad stroke, what you might find is that I find that using products, while maybe a little bit more long-winded, I think it's easier to manage a bit more finitely. The reason is there's always going to be some products within a category that you don't want to be broadly applied. It shouldn't really matter, but well, look, maybe it's just a personal preference, but in general, no, you can use categories and or products. It shouldn't affect that at all. That's my knowledge anyway. And this is for Chris. It's not really about discounts, but is there a way to bulk remove categories from the management interface rather than one at a time? You can't bulk delete categories. What you can do is use a spreadsheet to remove products out of those categories. And then if those categories are empty or have no visible products, then those categories won't display on the web shop. But there is no tool to mass amount those categories. Okay, I think that's a lot from what I can see. Yeah, I think that's all of them actually. Oh yeah, and there's one more, sorry, here from Anita. How do we access Visual Page Builder? I can't see it as an option. It could be possible that the Visual Page Builder might not be supported on your current web shop theme, Anita. If it's not, please feel free to email our support desk at support@aphixsoftware.com, and they'll be able to give you your options in terms of how that may be able to be supported on your theme. Yeah, but that's the only thing I can see why that might not be an option. Okay, folks, that's perfect. So, yeah, we appreciate you being here. The customer success team will be bringing more content and some training refreshers, new products, features, and webinars at least once a month for the foreseeable future. Stay tuned for more content. And as mentioned, we'll be replying back to any of your additional comments and questions directly that we've not answered today. Thanks again for joining us. Sorry that it ran on a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that everything got covered. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.